Many people believe there's a housing bubble ready to burst. That feeling is understandable, considering that year-over-year home price appreciation is still in the double digits. However, this market is very, very different than the housing market of 15 years ago. Today, I'm providing 4 reasons with graphs provided by Keeping Current Matters to show you how today is nothing like the previous housing crisis. Hi everyone, I am Lisa McBride with Sarasota Neighborhood Experts and Keller Williams Realty Select. I share information all about Sarasota, the housing market, and what it's like living in the area. If I can be of any help, be sure to let me know, and don't forget to subscribe, leave comments, and hit that like button. Now today's market is very, very different than in the past. The number one thing is that homes are much more affordable than in 2007. And I know you're probably thinking, how is that possible? Well, there are 3 components that make a home more affordable: the home price, buyer's wages, and the current mortgage rate. In 2007, mortgage rates were over 6%, wages were low, and home prices were high. Today, home prices are still high, however, wages have increased. And although we have recently seen an increase in mortgage rates, they are still historically very low and well below the average 6% we saw in 2007. Recently, we are hovering right around that 4% interest rate, and I recently had a client that was able to lock in under 4%, and that is what happens with working with great lenders. Now, of course, lower rates provide today's buyers the opportunity to pay less of their monthly income towards their mortgage payment than they did in 2007. Conventional lending standards recommend that buyers should not spend more than 28% of their gross income on their mortgage payments. However, when the housing bubble burst, many people were spending much more than 28% of their gross income on mortgage payments. So affordability isn't as strong as it was perhaps in 2020 or 2021. However, it is still much better than during the recession. Now here's a chart showing the difference. So you might ask, if home costs were so unaffordable, how were so many buyers able to purchase homes during the housing boom? Well, that brings us to point number 2. Lending standards are nothing like they were 15 years ago. It is so much harder to get a loan today than it was back then. Lending standards have tightened up considerably. Over the last decade, buyers must be much more qualified to be approved for a mortgage. For example, let's review the number of mortgages granted to purchasers with credit scores under 620. And according to Bankrate.com, a poor credit score is between 580 and 620. Buyers with scores below 620 are considered subprime borrowers because of the high risk. Now this graph shows the number of mortgages issued to buyers with subprime credit during the housing bubble. And as you can see, that number has considerably dropped in the past 14 years. Those lending standards led to a rash of distressed home sales after the bubble burst. And this leads us into point number 3. The foreclosure situation is nothing like it was during the crash. The most substantial comparison is the number of homeowners that were facing foreclosure after the housing bubble burst. Here are the numbers during the housing crash compared to today. Now, yes, the numbers in 2020 and 2021 have been impacted by the forbearance program, which was created to help homeowners facing uncertainty during the pandemic. However, there are fewer than 800,000 homeowners left in this program today, and most of them will be able to work out a repayment plan with their banks. Why are there so few foreclosures now? Today, homeowners are not underwater. They are actually equity rich. And in comparison, prior to the housing bubble bursting, many homeowners used their homes basically as ATMs and were taking money out all the time. Today, less and less people are doing that. And once home values plummeted back in the early 2000s, homeowners were upside down. And so some of those homeowners just decided to walk away from their homes. And this, of course, led to an abundance of foreclosures and short sales. Subsequently, when homes are sold at huge discounts, it causes other home value in the area to plummet as well. Today, it seems that homeowners have learned that lesson. Home values have appreciated nicely over the last few years. Adam Data actually reports that over 40% of homes in the United States have more than 50% equity in them. And this time, homeowners are not tapping into it like the last time. I recently saw a statistic that said over almost 40% of homes today are owned free and clear. In Sarasota, Manatee County, 50% of our home buyers currently are cash buyers. And of the other 50% that are financing, we typically are seeing 10 to 20% down payment on that loan. So there's a lot more equity today than there was in the early 2000s. What does this all mean in today's housing market? Well, that leads to point number 4. We are in a housing shortage. A healthy real estate market has approximately 6 months supply of inventory. Should inventory be any more than that, the market has an overabundance causing prices to depreciate. And anything less than that is going to cause prices to appreciate. In this next graph, you can see there was an abundance of homes for sale in 2007 to 2010. Many of these homes were foreclosures on short sale. Now this caused prices to drop. In comparison, today's market has an extreme shortage of inventory, and as a result, home values just continue to climb. Currently in Sarasota and Manatee County, we have record low inventories. We have approximately 2 weeks of inventory, and what that means is if no one put their home on the market in the next 2 weeks, with the buyers that we currently have, we could see no homes for sale. Now, of course, that's never going to happen. We continually list homes, but they're selling at a record 7 days, which again, home on the market for less than 7 days is almost unheard of. It's definitely something that I've never experienced, and I honestly don't think we'll probably experience this again for a very long time. Is this gonna stay for how much longer? Well, that's $1 million question. We are not sure. Will it change? Absolutely. Unfortunately, we're still seeing multiple offers. We're still extremely low inventory. So although we know as the world changes and inflation and everything that's going on, rising interest rates, we know we're gonna start seeing a slowdown. How much of a slowdown? How much would prices maybe not appreciate? Those are all questions that we are all wondering about. And unfortunately, time is the only thing that's gonna help us see that. I mean, I watch and see articles and people talking about the market crashing all the time. Of course, this is gonna change. I'm not sure crash is the right word to describe it, but we will level off over time. Here in Sarasota and Manatee counties, we are seeing record growth. And we have so many out-of-town buyers, empty nesters, and even families moving to our area. And there's just an influx of people moving into Florida. So again, this will change, but we're not sure how long it's gonna take to change, and if we are actually ever gonna see home prices go back down. Now, if you have questions about the Sarasota Manatee County housing market or moving to the area or anything I can do, just reach out, give me a call, let me know how I can be of help. I really appreciate you watching, and as always, until next time, take care.